I've been thinking, there are some first-person shooters out there that absolutely everyone should play at least once at some point in their lives, so consider this your FPS bucket list. This video is brought to you by Fortnite. Look, okay, the channel is called Xbox On, and this video is about FPSs, so obviously we are talking about Halo first. But with very good reason, because the world of FPSs would not exist today without Halo. That is a fact. It pioneered online multiplayer while also delivering an epic solo campaign and some of the finest split-screen gaming of all time, whilst opening up a whole world of player-created content with its legendary Forge mode. Now, if you were just going to play the one Halo game, I mean, that's your first mistake right there, but you should probably make it Halo Infinite, because with 4K and 120 FPS on the Xbox Series X, Infinite is the slickest and the most cinematic that the series has ever been. And do you know what? The fact that it's a live service game means there's always new content being added, and the multiplayer is totally free to play as well. You don't even need Game Pass Core to play online. Once you're done with that, afterwards, if you do fancy digging into the rest of the series, well, you can grab the Master Chief Collection from Game Pass. I'll be honest, I didn't play this one when it first released, but GoldenEye 007 is one of the most beloved shooters in gaming history, and you know what? Thanks to this new version that hit Game Pass last year, it's aged quite gracefully, a little bit like Pierce Brosnan himself. The legendary split-screen shootouts return, as do the 20 expertly crafted campaign missions and the unlockable cheat modes, which allow you to do some pretty funny stuff like giving Bond a ginormous head. I'd say I think Fleming really missed a trick there by not coming up with that himself, to be honest. This new version of GoldenEye 007 lets you enjoy the all-time classic with a few updated touches like smooth 4K visuals, modernized controls, thankfully, and of course achievements. I mean, if this shooter wasn't timeless before, it sure is now. You're going to have to do your best not to stick on that main menu screen music for too long though, because I know, it does sound great. Having the most guns doesn't necessarily make you the best shooter, but I mean, it doesn't hurt either. Boasting over 1 billion different firearms for players to pick up, Borderlands 3 takes much more of a more is more approach to things. You know what, the results are pretty fantastic. I mean, whether you're blasting your way through the game's CD, cell-shaded world alone, in online co-op, or even in split screen on the Xbox Series X or S, the game is just a non-stop thrill ride. Mainly because you're never really a few seconds away from encountering some new deadly toy or some poor sucker to try it out on. On the other hand, if you prefer a bit more of a fantastical spin on things, well, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a blast, while the narrative-driven, decidedly less shooty Tales from the Borderlands games make for quite a nice change of pace. But you know what? Borderlands 3 is the true king of the looter shooters, one that every gamer should definitely have a go at. Let's make things a bit more competitive, because I reckon that every gamer should at least dip a toe into the world of arena shooters once in their life. I mean, these things became global sensations for a reason, so the only real question remaining is, which one should you try? Well, with a roster that includes a super intelligent gorilla and a hamster in a mech suit, Overwatch 2 is pretty hard to argue with. I mean, that sounds class. Its 5-player, squad-based matches are all about teamwork. No solo killing here, please. If you love pulling off perfectly coordinated attacks alongside your buddies like some sort of gaming velociraptor, well, this just might be the FPS for you. And to sweeten the deal, Overwatch 2 is also completely free to play. I don't want to hear no complaining about this one being here. It's so justified. Titanfall 2 is a shooter that lets you hop inside a 10-foot tall mech. Do you know what? You'd think that'd be the main selling point, right? It is undeniably awesome, but the game actually makes traveling by foot every bit as much fun. The parkour system is so smoothly designed that you just quickly find yourself chaining together wall runs and double jumps like you've been doing it your whole life, just bounding across the battlefield while blasting enemies out of the air. It's just so much fun. Whether you're digging into the game's story or duking it out in online deathmatch, Titanfall 2's high-flying gunplay sets it apart from any other FPS on the market. And thanks to EA Play Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members, they can hop straight into the action now. Call of Duty tends to shatter any sales records pretty much every time a new entry comes out, and it's usually by breaking a record that was held by the previous Call of Duty game, so I just had to include it on this list. But which one's the best? I mean, these games, they've hopped between past, present, near future, serving up a banquet of exhilarating campaigns, as well as the sort of deep, rich online experience that you just sink hundreds of hours into. So it's kind of hard to pick. I mean, 2007's Modern Warfare made the series what it is today, revolutionizing the world of online shooters with mechanics like kill streaks and perks. But World at War introduced like zombies, and Modern Warfare 3 has Warzone, which is where the party is at right now. So yeah, it's hard to pick. And while Call of Duty is probably the first thing that most people think of when they hear the term FPS, Superhot is a game that is just designed to totally explode your whole idea of how the genre works. It's got these colourfully minimalist visuals and immediately looks different from every other shooter on the market, and it plays completely different too, thanks to this ingenious mechanic where time only moves when you do. And that means that you can plan out each step and each shot before you take them. But it certainly doesn't make the game easy. No, I mean, after all, only one hit is all it takes to put a Superhot character in the cold, cold ground. The result, it's basically an FPS that plays almost like a puzzler. It's a bit like trying to solve a Sudoku while a bunch of menacing monochrome guys point guns at you. So good luck with that. And for that uniqueness and that alone, you just really need to play it, which is kind of perfect because it's on Xbox Game Pass, including the Mind Control Delete version, which is great to pick up and play on something like an ROG Ally on your commute because the levels are just kind of condensed and really digestible to play 15 minutes at a time. It's a nice way to do it. Some people in life like to take the spray and pray approach to FPSs. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. It's perfectly valid. But if you're looking for the thinking gamer shooter, you should definitely check out Rainbow Six Siege. Now, to create this tactical team-based game, Ubisoft actually called on real-world counter-terrorism experts to help make the whole thing super realistic. Trying to coordinate your team through these high-stakes scenarios are so intense. I cannot understate that. And it makes the moments where you pull the job off perfectly feel unbelievably satisfying. Oh, and the game also looks unbelievably satisfying too, because it now runs at 4K and up to 120 FPS on the Xbox Series X. Frames really win games, and in this case, it's so true for Siege. It's a brainy brand of shooting, and it's worth a go for everybody. And yes, again, good news, it's also available on Game Pass. Destiny is another one of those games that totally flips the script on the standard FPS experience. And Bungie, well, they've been known for their slick gunplay since the days of Marathon and, yes, of course, the earlier Halo games that we talked about before. Don't forget, they're on Game Pass. Go play them. But with Destiny, they decided to combine that gunslinging gusto with the character building mechanics and collaborative gameplay of an MMORPG. And the result was pretty spectacular, and they refined it even further with Destiny 2. It's a story-driven game that boasts a space opera as cinematic as any summer blockbuster. It's an RPG with endless ways to build up your character and perfect your playstyle. It's an FPS that lets you blast aliens in the face with magic-powered laser guns. I mean, it's just really, really excellent. Now, the epic final chapter of Destiny's decade-spanning tale is going to drop on June 4th, so there's really never been a better time to jump into its vast, exhilarating universe. And since the base game is totally free to play, you really don't have many excuses not to play it, do you? Last up, we've really got to give it up for the boomers on this one, because they sure do know their way around a shooter. The original Doom is still the godfather of FPSs, and its proud demon-splattering legacy has been carried on by Bethesda with their modern entries, the pinnacle of which is Doom Eternal. It's basically the perfect melding of old-school ass-kicking gameplay and spectacular newfangled visual technology. The gunfights in Eternal are totally chaotic as you bounce around dodging enemy fire from every single direction and dishing out gruesome melee finishes that look like pure works of art on the Xbox Series X, complete with ray tracing and 4K resolution. I mean, exceptionally gross works of art, but works of art all the same. And you're not really a gamer until you've at least dropped by to say hello to Doom Guy, and the fact that Doom Eternal is on Game Pass makes doing so easier than ever. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty confident about this list, but before I hit you with a question of my own, why don't we check out today's sponsor? This video was brought to you by Fortnite and its new season, Chapter 5, Season 3, Wrecked. A ferocious new biome has come to the island, named the Wasteland, and with it come new weapons like Nitro Fists and new vehicle mods like grenade launchers and machine gun turrets. But that's not all. You have new Wasteland warriors to use them against, as well as the EMP-equipped war bus to hijack from them. All that, plus a brand new Wrecked Battle Pass with Wastelander Magneto outfit coming in July.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
So, what do you think, gamers? Did I miss the mark, or is this list bang on target? Hit the comments to let us know about the FPS games that you consider to be truly unmissable. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!